Let's make a guitar beat for Destroy Lonely. Yo, welcome back. Today we're going to be making a beat like Clayco would make for Destroy Lonely, similar to like How Looks Could Kill or How You Feel, sort of that like alt guitar vibe. So normally Clayco probably uses like real guitar samples, but for this video I'm going to show you how you guys can do it with just VSTs, since I don't play guitar. So all the guitars from this beat are going to be coming from the Electric Sunburst bank. It's super fire. I highly recommend it if you ever wanted to make like VST guitar stuff. But yeah, for this one we're going to be at 132 BPM, and the melody is going to just sound like this on its own. So definitely that Destroy Lonely, like if looks could kill type vibe. But yeah, let's get into it. So starting off, I got this MIDI from my boy Yozi. Go check him out. I'll leave all of his links in the description. So the first sound I used was actually the default preset when you open up Electric Sunburst. It's this Ibiza, and it comes with the Electrico Morning preset. And so the way this VST works is like you pick one of these patterns and it'll like arpeggiate the notes in different ways. So I went with the second one, and that's what this is going to sound like. So you can see how it's emulating like a guitar, how it's arpeggiating the notes. So I added a radiator to that to give it a little bit more saturation, some fresh air just to boost the highs, and then an effect rack with the swing tone preset on it just to give it a little bit of delay, and then just some EQs to kind of clean up the sounds. So then the second pattern, I took the same bass notes but just added a couple different top notes, and that preset is from the same bank, but it's the Wonderlust preset. And then the sound I used is the Ballad Roadhouse, and then I picked this first arpeggiating preset, and that's what this is going to sound like. So I like that pattern to layer with the first guitar. It's just like an ambient sort of background guitar lead almost. For this one I added some micro shift, the acoustic guitar clean wide preset. It just kind of widens out the sound a little bit, makes it sit well in the mix. And then for that one I also added an effect rack with the preset Memory Man, just to give it a little bit of delay again. And then this Native Instruments plugin called Realm, which is like a reverb pretty much, with the guitar Bear Hunter preset, and then just the same EQ to kind of clean up the lows. So then the third contact I used, same bank, Electric Sunburst. This one I used the Rock Show preset with the 22 high gain rock school sound, and then for this one I used the Dark Matter B pattern. It's not so much an arpeggiator, but it just kind of gives like a rhythm to the notes. So that's what this sounds like. So the main thing about these melodies, if you're trying to emulate a real guitar, you're not gonna have like a ton of layers just because you wouldn't have that with a real guitar. So what I have is just like a main pattern playing a nice melody, and then this sort of top line ambient lead kind of thing tucked in the back, and then these act as like the bass rhythm. So that's it for the guitars. The next thing I added was this vocal sample. I used arcade and I used the bank darkness inside, and I laid down these notes. One thing I love doing with arcade is picking like a note to work with, and then messing around with the sharp keys, because that adds like an effect to the note. So you can hear how these are both the same notes, but when this effect starts playing, it reverses this sound. So you can hear like this first half sounds like this, but then the second half comes in and it kind of reverses the end. For effects on that, I have another micro shift just to kind of like give it a little bit of wideness, and then an EQ cutting out some highs and lows. And then last thing was I layered these two basses together. One is kind of like a sub bass from Serum, and then the other one is kind of like a real guitar bass, but it's got more high end to it. So together they sound like this. So that's it for the melody. Let's get into the drums. I started it off with this just drum sample I found from Splice. That sounds like this. I noticed that Destroy Lonely uses a lot of like acoustic sounds when he's making these kind of guitar beats. So I use that for the intro. And then I have just a basic clap and hi-hat pattern that sound like this. And then I added in these accent snares that are more like heavier snares, like kind of more acoustic sounding. And they sound like this all together. There's 4 different ones. So really what I was doing with those is just kind of filling in the pockets where, you know, the other clap wasn't hitting and where they kind of fit in nice with the melody. Then I added just an open hat for the last thing. And then to the 808 pattern, it just follows the root notes of the MIDI. And I used the Ego 808 from my 2K Stash kit. If you don't have that, I'll leave a link to that in the description. That's gonna sound like this. For these beats, these sort of like longer bassy 808s are what are typically used. This one just has a little bit more punch in the beginning, which I liked. So all together, the drums are gonna sound like this. So yeah, that's it for the patterns. For the arrangement, I kept the main guitar, the kind of bass guitar, and then the vocal for the first part with the acoustic drums. And then I dropped off the acoustic drums and brought in that sort of like lead pattern guitar, and then brought in these drums. And then in the second half of the hook, I reintroduced the vocal. And then for the verse, I just took out, or for the first half of the verse, I just took out the lead guitar and the vocal. So it's just got the main melody and the bass guitar, and then kind of cut out the 808 just to give it a little bit of, just to give the beat like a little bit of room to breathe, and then it comes back in. And I also took out a couple snares just to switch up the pattern a little bit, and then I reintroduced all the drums back in and the vocal. So yeah, that's it for the beat. I hope you guys learned something. This is how I would make like a beat for Destroy Lonely, like a guitar beat. Let me know what you guys think. Also, let me know what you guys' favorite Destroy Lonely song is. And yeah, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, all that. Follow me on IG. I'm gonna be releasing a new Serum Bank pretty soon with Kersey. I think on November 3rd we are releasing that. So yeah, definitely follow me on IG to keep up with all that. But I'm gonna play the beat and I'm out of here. Peace.